Welcome back to Krown's Crypto Cave, and yes, another bad hair day for me, but hey, happy Wednesday. Hope you're having the best Wednesday possible down in cryptocurrency land or whatever fucking day it is. Who knows what day it is, but hey, you know what? Not only am I having a bad hair day, but also Bitcoin's having a great bad day as well, and also traditional markets. So let's get into live stream right over here and jump right on into it. So of course, as always, just as I was very adamantly and vehemently talking about the 6100 level when we were above it, it is still very much in play. As long as we're below there, I am quite bearish. The only way that I'd become unbearish is if we did something that looked like capitulation, or if we got back above this area right here. So if you can close the daily above 60 or 6,000, 6,100, whatever the fuck it might be, that is where I'd be looking towards. Now we are seeing all of the exponential moving averages, all the simple moving averages just slowly make their way below this horizontal right now as well. So that's just telling you that the pressure is mounting. Things are getting more and more intense. Shit's about to get real, perhaps, as they might say. So again, you know, the 200 exponential still making its way down, but now we do have the 100 exponential well below that 6,000 level. So, you know, if you do think that this thing's about to V-bottom out of this bitch and go back onto all-time highs or 10,000, whatever the fuck it might be, I would reconsider those ideas. Again, Bitcoin essentially giving up yesterday's rally, a little bit of a trap rally. Again, we spoke about last night how really the big key to be aware of was to see, did we close above or below this red 10 simple moving average right here? We closed below it, and now things have just drooped on back downward. So let's actually go into our BitMexico chart right over here. Let's go to a lower time frame, see how this one's doing. Again, I have not changed anything on this chart in like literally, I don't know, ever since we got in this area right over here, and we could like actually plot this out. So this was your big teller yesterday. The 200 exponential on your hourly right over here, the purple moving average, kind of also aligning with this horizontal line, which I really like for good confluence, acting as your major rejection, heavy volume on that dildo right there, and then you move away from it fast. That to me is institutional order flow at play, and then you know it just gets worse and worse. So Bitcoin drooping along with everything else. No, it's a hedge against the world's currency, except when they're both going down. So again, Bitcoin acting very bad over here. He's been a very bad boy. Even though his RSI is definitely oversold, he just continues to go to lower. It's like, what the fuck's going on over here? Anyways, getting down to our next support kind of zone right over here, but it's not, you know, it's not really acting too much. It's not really doing too much as of right now. Now, of course, we are waiting for this hourly to end. We got about 3 minutes and 40 seconds to do it. Let's see if we pull back up into the actual zone around 37.90ish area. We're about a few bucks away from that. So you know, probably does. But overall, just kind of making its way down. Not really too much to be said about it. Again, you know, if you want to be playing like the kind of zone, so to speak, well, you got your big chance yesterday with shorting the breakdown from 39.30ish area, and now we're coming down into our next zone. I would be closing positions. That's exactly what I actually have done for kind of like my more scalp trades. I don't really care about playing directions right here. Yes, I do still have my short open up from 6,300, but as far as, you know, trading the lower time frames right over here, it's just trading the zones essentially. If we do break this area right here, it's going to be the same thing as breaking, you know, 39.30 last night. I would be looking for a trade down into this zone right over here, 36.50 to 3600ish area, which not too many people are talking about. A lot of people are talking about like 3700 or either 3700 or the current low at around 3400. I think this is the very important area. If you start closing like higher level dildos below this area right here, it's not going to look good. I would believe that you'd start making your way down to not just your prior low, but new lows, like into the high 2000s, or, you know, maybe like low 3000 as well. But overall, you know, things are kind of just snaking around, just slowing up as we said was likely to happen over the course of this week. So again, I still don't think it's a time to be having like big, massive directional trades on, unless it like beginning from this zone right here. I would only do that if essentially got a short in around this area over here, which I actually did, but I ended up closing it somewhere down around here. And or if we broke this area right over here, 3600 as again, that's when I do start looking towards the next, you know, support zone, so to speak. Again, going over here to our Bitstamp chart. This is what I'm looking at right over here. We basically rejected the first blue box territory. This was my first potential bottoming area. It did not act like a bottom. It did not look like a bottom, and it's unlikely to be a bottom. And again, Bitcoin is just so generous. It's giving you now 3 chances to buy the ultimate low. It's like, wow, Christmas came early this year. Santa Claus and his big bag of red fucking dildos, shoving them all down Bitcoin and just saying, hey, buy me, buy me, buy me. Except he might have even bigger discount for you pretty soon. I shouldn't say pretty soon. I don't like doing time time type shit. But hey, if we do lose this level, again, the 3600 level, the next area that I start looking towards is this blue box territory down around here, around 26 to 2800. But again, you never know where one of those crazy wicks might end up being. Again, in a market that has 100x, leverage on multiple exchanges now, you never know where people are going to get liquidated. But I would imagine that we'd find some comfort around the 26 to 2800 level right over here. When it comes down to it, we also have a nice we also have some nice confluent factors coming in around this area. We have some nice horizontals. We have the 886 Fibonacci retracement. We have a big fat volume node, a thick AF volume node right over here, coming around this range as well. And by the way, notice how we are kind of clinging on to our last high volume node at the current moment in time at around 3600. Well, after that, there ain't nothing doing all the way from there until basically where I'm pointing right now. A very, very similar kind of action to what we did at 6,000. It's like I did this. No, Bitcoin did this. Once it broke 6,000, it's just a straight shot down into this kind of next higher volume node right over here. So assets typically do float and gravitate towards liquidity. Why do I think that Bitcoin's going to go lower? Why do I think that this is not going to be the ultimate low that we're currently looking at right here, right now, as it seems most of crypto Twitter and crypto YouTube believes it is? Well, I believe that we have we've done something unique in Bitcoin's history. We have both opened and closed a weekly diddle below the 200 exponential, this purple moving average right over here. That's never been done before in Bitcoin's history, and that is like an actual confirmed kill when you both open and close below a moving average like that. So I look at this as a rejection of that, and that's essentially insinuating that we are going to have some comfort living below this area for quite some time. Not only that, but remember the dotted trend line. The dotted trend line that goes back all the way to the inception of Bitstamp that has never been broken. Well, that was broken a couple weeks ago, and then it was retested with last week's weekly dildo over here on this wick and rejected. So not only do we have a rejection of the 200 exponential, but also a rejection of the quote-unquote bull channel. So Parabolic Crab is not going to be happy about this one, because now it's like you just have, like, where do you fucking draw your parabol? What the fuck is that word? It's too hard to say, man. Parabola. Where do you draw it from now? Well, you can just keep on redrawing it, because that's essentially what he does. But hey, again, that was kind of like the last of the last bull hopium. Again, I don't think that Bitcoin's getting back above 6,000 anytime soon. I think it's gonna be well into next year before you ever see 6,000 again. Bitcoin in grave danger of getting the 3-day dildo death cross right over here. That's a green 55 exponential cross on the downside of the purple 200 exponential right over here on the 3-day dildo chart. We've only had that happen one time in Bitcoin's history, which was actually right over here in 2014. Sending you down from this sideways action to your ultimate red dildo capitulation death hole right over here, getting your red blood eagle on, girl. And as you can see, we are gonna get it unless sorry, I should always offer up a contingency, unless you get a major run up in the next week above 6,100. If you can do that, if Bitcoin, sorry, not if you can do that. I mean, well, or maybe you are the buyer, but hey, if Bitcoin can do that, if Bitcoin can get back above 6,100 to 6,200, then yes, you will avert the death cross on this time frame. But if not, if anywhere below there in the next week and a half, 2 weeks, you will get that cross. That cross will happen. It's an inevitable. And again, why do I care about that stuff? It's not because it's some sort of like magical, mystical, fucking hocus pocus bullshit when it comes to technical analysis, but it is very interesting because it does, again, going from my background as being a market maker in equity options on New York Stock Exchange ARC, I know that most big players use algos and program them with kind of in some cases some very simple inputs. So what is this going to do? It's basically just going to intel to sell algorithms for a lot of the algo traders. So, instead of like selling, I don't know, the 21 exponential before that, now they're going to sell the 10 simple. I'm not saying that that's exactly what they're going to be doing, but it's, that's kind of the logic there. You saw the same thing when you got the 2-day dildo death cross right over here. Again, the second time in Bitcoin's history. And once you got rejected from this area right over here, that's the time when we on this channel started to say, I think it's time to actually have a directional trade to the short side. Again, none of this financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, just kind of sharing my opinion, sharing what I'm doing over here. Daily, same sort of thing over here as well, but there are a couple things to be aware of over here on the daily. So you had your death cross right over here on the daily. That was when consensus was going to save Bitcoin, but then what the fuck, man? I thought they were going to make an announcement there. Instead, Instead, you had a very lovely 34% drop in the span of a few weeks. But you also notice you did get a death cross right over here. So this, I really do want to talk about this because this is actually a similar situation to what we're looking at right now. Typically speaking, when you're getting any of these death crosses, you want to see price action being like pulled into the cross, and you'll notice, going back on over here, if we were to go back to the 3-day dildo death, the 3-day dildo chart, price action is nowhere near the cross happening over here. Compare that with what you did on the daily and the 2-day, which over here was like literally everything was right there. Well, we actually do have an example of what happens when the cross happens, far away from price action. And typically speaking, things actually do. Yes, they do get that initial reaction, but it's not as damning. So that is a counterpoint to what I'm saying. It is worth talking about. But overall, for longer term type thinking, it's not good. It's going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot to undo something like that. Again, a run back above 6,100 in the next week and a half might do it. But you will be getting a new tick on that 3-day dildo chart tonight. I don't think that they'll cross tonight, but they should be crossing again, barring any major run. Probably on the next one after that, or if not that one, then definitely the one after that. Very, 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 very likely. So again, pretty nasty behavior right over here. 3-day RSI is definitely can't go lower, bro. But unfortunately, price action would disagree right now. 3-day Stokes over here, again, they actually haven't even crossed the upside. They're just kind of getting into the more critical zone. So again, they can stay at the bottom just like RSI can for eternity. There's no such thing as oversold. There's no such thing as overbought. The professionals are fucking laughing in your face anytime that we heard people saying that bullshit on fucking CNBC on the floor. It was just like erupting with laughter. 2-day over here. 2-day, do we have anything to look at on the 2-day? 2-day is being governed like lightly by the 10 simple moving average right over here, which is just it's so pathetic, man. And now we do have our 55 exponential well below the 6,000 mark. So again, just more pressure adding up. I really don't think that this is going to end anytime soon. Daily over here, we did reject the 10 simple moving average yesterday. That was kind of like the big news of last night. But again, it's not like I just take a massive short based off that. In fact, like I said, I'm not interested in playing directions right here. I'm only interested in playing zones. So yes, I did short this area right over here, 39. The break of 39.30, we come down to this area right over here. Well, I'm probably going to be closing it unless if we close like an hourly dildo below this area. I'm not really. There's not much to be done, and just overall, there's really not much to be done, like in an overall sense right here, until we actually break one of the more critical areas. So again, that critical area for me is 3,600. I think a lot of people would disagree with me on that. But fair enough, fair enough. 10 hour over here, 10 hour just looks like it wants further down. It looks like it does want to sweep the lows once again. I mean, everything looks like they kind of want to come back down and test this area. So, perhaps I will be opening up a short pretty damn soon. But this was very nasty last night. You pop back up to 4,000 just for a second, and it's an immediate rejection. I mean, this was your tell right here. Again, when you have a nice hourly dildo like this reaching for a 200 exponential like that, which is also kind of aligned with the horizontal, and you get rejected from it, like on heavier volume than all of the rally, beforehand, and you move away from it, that's institutional order flow at play, and that's the professionals dumping on silly, perma bulls thinking, guys, it's going back up. We're back above 4,000, 5,000 next. It's like, whoa. All right. Probably not. Again, I don't think that Bitcoin's going to 5,000 anytime soon. I think if you get any wick over 4,200, it's probably going to be a major sell. I don't think that you're going to be closing a weekly dildo above 4,200 anytime soon. You could get some price action above there, but again, like I said, it's probably going to be a sell. Let's see. What are the other higher time frames? I mean, this is not a higher time frame, but this is like a higher time frame to crypto Twitter. A 4-hour right over here. Not really telling you too much. People are going to call this bullish divergence on the 4-hour. It's not. It's not at all. We need a stopping point first. And in fact, we don't have anything resembling that. We just have continuation. Your 4-hour Stokes over here, just having a fresh cross down, by the way, for the people in the program. 3-hour just crossing down as well. 8-hour crossing up, So that is interesting. Maybe that could save Bitcoin. Maybe it's going to do it. And 10-hour over here, still kind of going headed south as well. So there's really not much else to be looking at. RSI on the 10-hour chart is, is actually pretty clear. You got, and this also applies to the 12 hour on the daily, but we can just do it on the 10 hour because it's like all this fucking same thing. But you got some bullish divergence coming off the lows over here. But again, bullish divergence doesn't mean much in a heavily bearish controlled market, because you're just going to pop up to the neutral zone, and then then you get back, and then you get lasted once again by your exponential right here, and then further lower. Again, for the bulls, there's not much to be looking at, because there's so much resistance built up on the way back up that, like, it's, in my opinion, yes, you can play like a breakout from here to here, but in a bearish market, when you're talking about a bearish market, that just means that any of those rallies can fail at any time. So I really don't even like playing the trades to the long side. I'll only really be thinking about closing shorts if those happen. So I really have to be adamant about that, because I see so many people like trying to buy the BTFD, and it's just like there's no. Like, just wait a little bit longer, man. The dip's going to get bigger. It's probably going to go further down. Again, nothing says that this is ending anytime soon. And when I say anytime soon, I mean like literally, well into next year. And when I say ending, I mean back above 6,000 and perhaps even 10,000. We could use that as a marker as well. 10,000 is a pretty good one to be going off of. Right now we are resting right back on the 55 exponential on the monthly. Again, the first pass typically a bounce, but the second pass not so much. We could very easily lose it on this one. And like we just viewed before, it would likely lead to another quick flush all the way down to 37, or sorry, not 37, but like 28, 29, 100, something like that. Monthly overall kind of nasty. 10 simple moving average going to be getting very close to the 21 exponential moving average. By the way, the 21 exponential moving average is now well below 6,000. Remember, the 21 exponential on the monthly dildo chart is what I use to kind of judge, are we generally bullish or generally bearish? So now we have extremely strong resistance coming in below that breakdown point. So that's not good either. And also just overall, this is a fucking ugly chart. Well, it's not an ugly chart from the monthly standpoint. It's like the monthly says that you can come all the way back down to your prior high of your prior market cycle and say, yeah, you'll probably bounce around there, and that'll be fine. Again, I'm not the kind of analyst who will say, the kind of analyst or trader who will say, we're definitely going down to 1,500 or 1,200. I say that it's certainly on the table of possibilities, but again, I take things one step at a time. I don't like being Mr. Crystal Baller, because I don't believe in that, and I think that that's what most people get wrong about technical analysis. All I can see here is that it's very likely that we do break this area. In fact, but it hasn't happened just yet. I need to see if dildo closing below 36, and then this area becomes the next big area of interest. So again, that would not only just be all the things that we've talked about before, but also the 200 simple moving average on the month or on the weekly dildo time frame. So a lot of things coming around this area. I would imagine that there's likely to be a big bounce around this area. Could it be a reversal? Perhaps a potential to be a reversal. If that area fails, then if this area were to fail, then I would be looking towards the next like 1,100, 1,200, 1,300, whatever it might be down around there. And that would be kind of like my next disposition. But for now, got to take it one step at a time. By the way, putting on the volume profile right over here as well, you'll notice if we just make it look exactly right. Yeah, so after we do lose, if we were to drop into this next blue box territory right here and we actually lost it, it correlates with this nice high volume node right here. Well, you actually have the biggest high volume node, in this visual space right here, down around here. Where is that? Well, that's the 1,100, 1,200, 1,300 area. So again, it's also the penis secretion over here. If he's still around, it's the point of control. So things could, it's not like this is out of the question. It's certainly within question. It's just I take things one step at a time. So I'm never gonna say like it's definitely going here 100%. But what I can say is that this is extremely unlikely to be your capitulation bottom. It is not capitulation at all. Volume is not good. I mean, again, this is measured in coins traded. So when price action is 2 times higher over here, this volume equated to this guy right over here is literally like more than 2 times. Over here, you had a good example of what capitulation could look like. I mean, look at this. You jump up about like 60 to 69% off the lows, like almost immediately. Well, have we done that in 2018? Bitcoin just being really guys, it's the holiday season, okay? So 15% off the lows is pretty good. But again, already giving up most of that, and now we're about 9% off the lows. So again, that is very unlikely to be your ultimate low. Again, overall, just nothing's Nothing really matters to me. Putting the 10 symbol on right over here. We can see that all these, these moving averages right here, which also put on the break of 6,000, especially on our map, as like, okay, it's extremely likely to happen now, just like the 2-day dildo death cross. They are still gaining momentum away from each other. 10 simple is just nowhere near even a price action. At some point, we will test this, but it's probably going to take some time, before you actually make your way over there. Okay, so let's go check out GBTC. How did he do? And then we'll go to the regular markets because they had a phenomenal day yesterday. Phenomenally bad. GBTC coming back down to its lows, so that would kind of agree with Bitcoin revisiting the 3,600 to 3,650-ish area. That would kind of make sense to me. Do you have anything to see on our oscillators right over here? Not really. Not really, not printing any sort of divergence. Not that it matters. At this point, it doesn't even matter. Like, this is just a very ugly chart. You get rejected from right here. We could have, we said that it was likely to kind of continue as in the past couple days. And, but, we did want to see this actually confirmed, and now it has been confirmed. So to me, yeah, you technically still do have $4.47.5, which we said it was likely to get down to yesterday. That happened. But if we break that area, then things can get pretty damn nasty, all the way down here to about $3.89.5, which would likely line up with high 2000s, I'd imagine. So again, GBTC getting all the way back down to its prior low essentially tells me that Bitcoin probably going to be revisiting 3600, 3650-ish relatively soon. So again, I've been guilty of saying that I don't think Bitcoin breaks 3,600 this week. But again, I'm not a time analyst. That could go out of the fucking that could go out of the window real fucking fast. Again, I don't believe in time analysis. I just felt like, all right, well, it would be nice if we actually, spent a little bit of time going sideways. Like, is Bitcoin really that fucking weak? I mean, I guess so. So again, be aware of these sorts of things. But the trigger still stands. It's still the same area right over here. As long as you're above 3,600, it's not too appropriate to be talking about that, but it's also not, talking about upside right over here, not the most appropriate thing either. It's like you could get over you could get over 4350. And when I say about upside, I mean like an actual like uptrend, like making a higher high. So if you could get above 4350, I mean, that would be interesting to me. But still, then you'd have to deal with 4600. Then you got to deal with 4800. Then things could get a little bit more cool, all the way to about 5200, and then 5600, and then 6,000. Those are kind of like the major areas on the way up. But at each and every one of those points, I'd be looking to at least try to be a seller, and play that out. So. Let's go check out traditional markets on Spires over here. How we doing, Spy? Down $9, 9 fucking points, 9 points and 5 cents. Jesus fucking Christ, man. So this is exactly what we were talking about coming into yesterday, as the cautionary signal had to be on whenever you saw this right here near a major resistance, and you look at this guy right here, and it's kind of a hangman dildo in a way, and then you just follow it up with a full, thick, extremely girthy, extremely powerful, extremely hairy, veiny, and delicious, shiny, sorry, where did that come from? Dildo. Closing on your lows, not fucking good, man. This is like picture perfect. So what I was thinking this week is that we'd probably have like some sideways to slightly up, but that kind of went out the window with Monday. So again, once we have information, we can go off of that. But once this guy was in right here, we said, okay, this does not look good anymore. You have to be on cautionary. If we do close the next daily, which we did below the 200 exponential right over here, now we're back in the scary territory where the SPY could be getting a death cross, the green 55 and the purple 200. As long as you're maintaining price action below 274.5, it's on the table of possibilities. So maybe no Santa rally this year. Overall, this is a very nasty weekly now, and while I am bearish on the markets, and I have been bearish on the markets for a while, I did not think it was going to play out like this fast. Still, though, the magical areas still do hold right over here. As long as you're above 260-ish area, you're not really like doing anything like too crazy. But if you do break 260, then yeah, I'd start looking towards 240-ish area. I mean, yeah, you do have supports along the way, but 240 is kind of the next big area of comfort that I'd be be looking for. Again, monthly over here, giving you all kinds of bearish signals. But again, I thought it was going to take at least until January to play out. But we got a different market right now. The Trump market is different because well, he tweets and stuff. And again, not political at all. I'm not a political person. It's just I think it's actually hilarious. But it's just it's actually set up a different kind of standard for the markets right now. Overall, though, major bearish divergence on your RSI, major bearish divergence on your Stokes over here. I won't pull up the MVT signal today, but because it's too far away. But again, a lot of things saying that we can go down, and Bitcoin and traditional markets have been pretty damn correlated on the extreme moves more recently. So you can imagine when this thing can come literally all the way down to 215 to 220ish area. What does that mean for Bitcoin? I mean, that's not good. I mean, and that would be a healthy retracement, at least to 240. But if things got really bad, maybe putting it down around here, right around 169. I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but if things did get really bad, that's kind of where the next big area would be. And again, I'm not leaning towards that happening really. You got to wonder what's that going to mean for Bitcoin, right? I know a lot of the crypto anarchists think that Bitcoin's a hedge against this shit. It's not. They are pretty well correlated, actually. In fact, Bitcoin is having a much worse time over here. So again, I do believe in Bitcoin long term, but that is long term. It's gonna take a long fucking time if it is gonna work out. Okay, so let's go check out Mr. Buteau really quick. So, what's Mr. Buteau doing over here? Mr. Buteau is looking pretty nasty as well. Retracing, did he retrace the whole of yesterday? No, he got 30 cents shy of retracing the whole yesterday's greenish dildo, although not the most green. When you look at the 12-hour over here, this just looks like a massive hero pattern, which is quite bearish. So again, might bounce off your prior lows, but it doesn't matter to me. It's likely to go lower. Next big support on Mr. Buteau is assuming that you do smash through 104 on Finex, the next big support on Mr. Buteau is down around here, right around 80. God, my eyes fucking hurt if you're wondering why I'm blinking right now. Right around $88 or $90, something like that. If that area breaks, and yeah, it seems a little bit more appropriate that $50 to $60 is your next kind of bigger area of support. But again, something like this, Mr. Buteau, it's worth noting, Mr. Buteau has not survived but is not experienced a bearish market before. It was made after, I think, 2014. So it doesn't have history. It doesn't have a base to go back to. So make all the jokes about Ripple or I think Litecoin as well. That you will, but those things have actually survived a bear market. I'm not saying that is going to be good for them. It's just support for Ripple is at 2 fucking cents if that were to really get nasty. But Buteau doesn't really have anything to go off of, so we're going to be getting into uncharted territory. If Bitcoin does start breaking this 3,600 level, which does look like it's very likely to happen. To me, it's just a matter of time. We do have an interesting kind of setup with the shorts and longs of it all right over here. Longs really scare me right now. So you do not want fucking 28,000 longs on the table when you're below 4,000. That is just ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous, man. People always trying to buy the fucking dip. It's this is crypto ignorance at its best. Actually, a shit ton of longs going up just even in the last couple hours, 8 a.m. So that was literally when price action was. Let's go see where price action was for myself at 8 a.m. Right over here. So yeah, people all longing this fucking red dildo right here. It's just yeah, I mean, technically, yeah, you have not broken the 3,600 low just yet, but these people are already immediately under pressure. It's all right, nice. I understand that, some people will hold their positions underwater, but that's 2,000 longs going up in that territory right over there. Shorts going up as well, and shorts are certainly they will be getting squeezable pretty damn soon. But here's the thing, when bears are in control of the market, when it is a clear and obvious downtrend, people will just like when it's a bull market, hold their positions as essentially the trend's going to change around at some point in time. But hey, they were doing a phenomenal job of running the markets, over here, breaking 6,000, taking profits, breaking 5,000, taking profits, breaking 4,000, taking profits. But now it's not as good anymore. So it does offer up the potential for a short squeeze. But again, when you're in a bear market, it's it's less of a point. The longs are going to be a bigger problem right now. And these things in a way are just kind of a meme to me to begin with, because I don't, I think that it's kind of like it's just become something that like Coin Mastery, fucking Carter Thomas and DataDash and Chart Guys and all this bullshit talk about now. It's like the shorts are really high, guys. So don't worry, there's a short squeeze coming soon, and then Bitcoin moon. It's like. Probably not. Probably not. So again, I kind of want to distance myself from that sort of talk, but it is worth mentioning because you're probably going to hear a lot of that bullshit around this market. Anyways, back down over here into the hourly. Did we close the hourly above this area? Yes, we did. So 37.90 has held for now, but just going to start to fill out this area just like we did over here on this last block, and just like we did kind of over here, not so much actually, in this block over here and this block over here. This one actually getting a lot of price action pretty damn well. But we're just gonna have to kind of wait and find this one out. If we do break 37.90, again, I'll be looking towards 36.50 to 3600 down around here, and that'd be the next trade that I'm looking for. If we do break this area up to the upside around 38.30, we'll call it. Yeah, maybe you do make another run for like 39.30, about 4,000 right over here. Very possible, but it does feel like pressure is down right now. And also I just want to kind of take a second to denote this guy right over here. You actually broke this area before. You'll notice that yesterday, but it was on extremely low volume. And what happens after that, once you take out the high of this dildo to the other side, it's the time to like actually get long. So I actually did buy a little bit of that. Again, none of this financial advice, I'm not a financial advisor, but that is fucking institutional order flow at play. Again, this kind of pump over here designed to create a little bit of FOMO for all the people who think that Bitcoin just can't go any lower, bro. So again, be careful of that. It is worth noting that CME futures are trading at a $20 to $30 discount right now. So that that kind of demonstrative of our current market structure right now. Typically, they are around parity or within $5 of parity. So being $30 away from each other is something to be aware of, as that would represent that futures are being sold. So if futures are being sold, then it's probably a spot that's being bought up. So at the end of the month, when there's going to be an arbitrage opportunity, that's actually going to put some downwards pressure on price action. Sorry. Anyways. Okay, so what else we have to talk about? Let's go look at the volatility index. I'm just curious what he's saying right now. Yeah, we're actually still dropping a little bit lower around the 4 mark. We got all the way up to 10-ish area. So to me, this is still consolidation what we're looking at, and we do see that. And this is also why I don't feel like 3600 is going to be broken like this week. But with the stock market turning down, I do have to reconsider my idea of thinking that we're going to be stuck in the mud here for a little bit of time before moving lower. It certainly offers up the possibility that things could be moving a lot more expedited speed. So expedited rate perhaps is the right term to be using. So again, be aware of that. It's overall, there's not too much else to be said about that. My God, I can't even speak right now. But going back on over here to the 1 hour, I'll start to close this bitch out. Again, all I'm looking at right here is if 37.90 breaks, I'm looking towards 36.50 to 3600. That's my next trade. If we break this out to the upside, back above 38.30, I don't think I'd really be looking for a long or anything like that. Again, I don't want to buy a fucking downwards asset. It's just silly. But here are the levels that I'd be aware of. If you do break above 4,000, you could have another test of 40.60. I mean, we spoke about this coming into yesterday's video that, hey, the second that you break, or the second that you kind of, or I forget what we said, but we said that a test of 40.60 was likely. I mean, this basically was it right here. Yeah, you're about 20 bucks shy, but that's close enough in my opinion. And that was a clear rejection. So this is kind of becoming like the next big resistance, so to speak. If you could get above that area, then yeah, maybe you do have a nice breakout play all the way up to 4,300 area. If you break above there, then maybe 46. But again, I'm not really looking for that to happen. I'm really waiting for 3,600 to break. If it does break, that's the next big trade I'll be looking for on heavy volume. That's what I want to see. So that's going to do it for now. Not really else too much to talk about. Just filling out the ranges still. It's still kind of stuck in the mud, like we said was likely, but it does feel, with the advent of what just happened in the traditional markets, that it does offer up the potential for Bitcoin, playing this out faster than I thought. So that's going to that could insinuate, perhaps a worse scenario, but but we'll get there. We'll get there when we get there. So that's going to do it for today. Again, keep in mind of the higher time frames. Understand that more often than not, there's not a trade to be made. I feel like this is probably one of them times. Unless if you really like pulling your hair out. So yeah, that's all I got for today. I'll be back on a little bit later with a live stream near you soon. I look forward to see you guys there, and take care.